610. We've got another great guest with us today. We have Francis Sheehan. That's how it's pronounced, right? Mm-hmm. Sheehan from the Foundation for Delaware County. Have you ever seen Mayor of Easttown?
Yeah, of course.
You know that her last name's Sheehan as well.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
My distant cousin. They're back on the potato farm in Ireland.
So you, what is your official title at the Foundation for Delaware County?
I am the president.
The president. Wow. We've had a president and a CEO in our last couple of shows. Wow. Oh,
and we all looked unemployed while they were doing it.
So, number one, thank you very much for your donation and involvement with Delco and getting that all going. That was awesome. I'm glad you came out that day and you got sworn in as an official Delconian.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
I'm actually originally from England.
From England?
Yeah. But
just like Kate Winslet, who played Mayor Sheehan. Yes.
Yeah. I grew up in Connecticut and New Jersey, but I've lived in Delaware County now for 33 years.
What part of England?
Surrey, southwest of London.
I thought you said sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry, like Nickelback. It's not like you to say Surrey. Yeah. Okay, so you're from England, and then what brought you over here?
My dad was part of what was called the British brain drain. He was a chemist, and American companies were recruiting British scientists back in the late 50s, early 60s, because they spoke English, they were well educated, and so came over on the Queen Elizabeth Ocean liner with my mom, and I don't remember any of it. I was a baby.
That's fascinating. Yeah, it is.
What a culture shock.
Yeah, I'll go.
Well, no, I didn't come here.
Yeah, I know.
You went to Connecticut,
New Jersey. I lived all over.
Would you say they eased you into Delco? You went from England, Connecticut, Jersey. Okay, now you hit it.
Like fancy Connecticut or like Hartford?
It wasn't fancy. It was not
Stanford.
Fancy.
Or sorry, Stamford.
It wasn't fancy.
Okay.
We were just starting out.
What part of New Jersey, like Princeton or Camden?
Actually, what was not quite as fancy then, but is fancy now, Mendon.
What?
AKA Chris Christie, Whitney Houston. Yeah.
I thought they were from like
They
Jersey
weren't
City.
there then.
Oh.
But it was a lot more rural. It was kind of a rural part of northern New Jersey.
And then you came to the Philadelphia area?
Via New York, Boston, and Cleveland.
Oh my
yes.
God! So you're just, did you walk? And just like get more south, set up camp and keep going. My Lord,
that's wow.
So
I was born in a South Philly hospital with a doctor who was smoking a Palm all night. That's my culture.
I was born in Delco. I was at Riddle. I mean, I didn't even leave the state the area until we went to the shore.
You're born in Delco, right?
No,
you aren't.
I was born in like Presbyterian Hospital
in Philly.
Yeah, it's because my mom worked there, so like it's not like I'm grandfathered in. It's like John McCain was born in like Panama because his dad was stationed in Panama. I'm grandfathered in by that. I can still run for president of Delco.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
I loved the swearing-in ceremony. That was great. I have my little flag hanging on my office door.
That was his girlfriend made them. They were fantastic, weren't they?
And yeah, she thought she made it off. She did not. She did not. It's her biggest regret.
And it's funny how that the swearing in has become what has become because it's let's be honest, it's not official of anything, but people treat it that way. So I think it's really cool how like we've been doing it since 4 or 5 or 4 or 6, right in that range. We didn't have Delco Day 5 because of the pandemic.
So, yeah, it was 4-ish.
So 4-ish, and we just said we need to do something in between to kind of shake it up a little bit. He said, let's like swear in honorary Delconian. People who aren't from the area. Now we have international Delconians. What's the furthest we've had? Australia?
There's Australia, Turkey, Italy, Greece, Canada, England,
Jersey,
Chester County, Delaware,
New Jersey,
Radnor. We swore someone from the main line. Like I want to be part of Delco.
But it's funny because you're
someone from Swarthmore. They were like, "I want to be part of Delco." You are like, not really.
We are part of Delco.
They're in Swarthmore now. Oh Lordy!
I think things are so different than they were even 10 years ago. That everybody's proud to be from Delaware County, and
not everyone.
Like, okay, there's stuff going on. It's a happening county now. You can't buy a house here anymore.
I know because I'm poor.
Wanna? It's not just
because I'm broke. I have no assets. I had bad
Well,
credit.
that would-
No, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about how it's good.
So
Yeah.
Give me the-
Yeah.
people are really we have all these small towns like Havertown and Lansdowne and
Still waiting for your name of town in
Swarthmore,
Delco.
and Ridley, Prospect Park, lots of stuff
Ridley-
going on
Ridley
in these
Park.
little,
Yeah.
Ridley Park, lots of stuff going on in these little communities. People want a walkable community. You're close to the airport, you're close to the city still, but you're not in the city.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many
People want to be safe. They
People
want to be safe, and yeah.
see
Accessible.
where they can go around, where activities are going on, and there's
Mhm.
just so much stuff going on right now
Yeah.
in the county particularly for young families, but also for people who want to stick around in the county. The taxes are an issue.
Taxes are brutal.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
There's got to be something done with the taxes, but also the inequity of the schools. I think a lot more people would want to live in Drexel Hill if there weren't concerns about the school district.
Sure.
Even though
Or lands.
I'm
great
moving out of that
school
area because of
board,
it.
great school board, some wonderful, wonderful teachers, great superintendent, but the scores are not as strong as they are in districts like, Marble Newtown,
Ridley.
Swarthmore,
Mhm.
and so that, it's too bad because the houses there are more affordable.
Mhm.
Tax is still an issue,
Yeah.
but the houses are more.
Well, and that's what
affordable.
Drexel Hill. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm from Clifton Heights, and I'm moving out because of the school district. Is the way it's gotten to a point. I have a son entering high school in Upper Darby, and I have another son who is going into third grade, and I don't want him to be around because in those areas because the middle schools, elementary schools aren't terrible. I'll give them that to their
Mhm,
point, but the high school is just overwhelmed and overcrowded, and the middle schools even they're trying to build another one. So you're absolutely correct.
Well, I think what you're going to see with the budget now in Harrisburg, you're going to see more of an effort to make that funding equitable.
Mhm.
But I think we are one of the most inequitable counties. We're like the second most segregated county.
We can get to number one by the end of this month if we
Yeah,
believe
I
in
hope
ourselves,
not.
Delco.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Believe in yourself, Delco. We're number one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues that I think people are concerned about, but also people are stepping up to do something about, which I think is very positive. It's a very generous county. A lot of folks a lot of opportunities to get involved.
Mhm.
People are stepping up. I mean, you guys, look at Delco Live, the whole Delco Day that you guys started doing 8 years ago.
8 years,
And
yeah.
for
Yeah,
3 years now, you've been supporting one of the most reputable nonprofits we have in the county, Headstrong,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is wonderful. I mean,
Mhm.
seeing those two families get up
Oh,
there on Delco Day
Oh,
and
yeah.
receive support after
Yeah.
the harrowing battle they've been going through with cancer, that was great.
If the rock music doesn't strike your heart, the families will.
Yeah, and that's
It was good stuff.
It's our favorite day of the year, and we're getting insane feedback. But a big part of that was the foundation for Delaware County. Really believing in us, giving a very, very great donation that ended up being desperately needed. All the proceeds go to those two families and Headstrong primarily. But it was a massive event.
Yeah.
Like we actually doubled what we normally do, and we always think it's like a big undertaking.
So that's
Did you really?
that's
You
I,
doubled it?
I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Yeah.
the epitome of Delco too. Like I like the tagline "Party for a Purpose" because that's what Big Al was saying. And thing, Delco people can be knuckleheads, but we take care of each other. And when somebody's down, there's no other county like this.
It's a brotherhood, sisterhood
Well,
situation. If you think about I can make fun of my sister all I want, but if you do it, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know where we really
Take
saw
care of
people
each
step up was during COVID, because when literally on Friday, March 13th, we started the Delaware County COVID-19 response
So
fund.
you guys started COVID.
Yeah. We
Got
didn't
it.
start
It's a bold
COVID,
admission, but I'm proud of you.
but the
Honesty is the
Delaware
best
County
policy.
COVID-19 response fund. So we started that, and we raised and donated over $1 million, and it was all from people in Delaware County who stepped up and wanted to make a difference for folks in their own community. We moved the funds out literally almost every week. We're moving funds out the door to nonprofits that needed help, whether it was food banks, nonprofits that were serving people and needed masks.
Mhm,
We helped the county with the whole testing effort, and then with the vaccine effort. It was amazing to see people step up. Do you know that the Citizen Corps that Delaware County runs, the Delaware County Citizen Corps, the people who stepped up, the volunteers who stepped up to do all the testing in the vaccine sites, maybe are you looking like that, Chris, because you were one of those people?
You're giving me way too much credit. I drank the entire pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why?
And by pandemic, I mean 2003 to
Okay.
current.
Well, while you were drinking, over 3,000
Wait,
Delaware
I'm
County
sorry,
residents
start with that.
volunteered for
How
the
many?
citizen corps. Over 3,000. No other county per capita had that kind of a response
Really?
to stepping up. No other county.
See, this is the kind of stuff we need to hear.
Amazing. It was
Yeah.
it was awesome how people stepped
That's
up.
excellent.
Yeah,
We wouldn't have had the vaccine rate, the testing rate, and the vaccine rate that we had
These
if it were not for that.
these are things we probably should be covering instead of that guy who bought plutonium and posted it on Facebook in Upper Darby. Do you remember that story?
No, what's the
Spectacular.
story?
A guy in a halfway house bought plutonium on Facebook Marketplace, had it shipped to Upper Darby just so he could post it on a Facebook, and it caused shockingly a nuclear problem. That's Upper
Crazy,
Darby. That's Upper
crazy.
Darby. Those are the kind
But
of stories
it's
we
not the
normally
only thing
cover.
about Upper Darby.
No, certainly
No.
not. It's
So there was multiple shootings along Lane last night.
So
Okay.
tell us about the foundation.
They're-
So,
break it all down for us.
Yeah,
We don't know
explain
what
us-
it is.
Explain us what it is.
we are the philanthropic engine for Delaware County.
The philanthropic engine for Delaware County.
We connect generous people with nonprofits, with opportunities to give back. We run a Center for Nonprofit Excellence that provides training and technical assistance to nonprofits in the county so that they can be as strong and impactful as possible. We run some public health programs like the Nurse Family Partnership and the WIC Nutrition Program.
there you go. Maybe you can help Chris out.
Wick?
No.
Nutrition?
Nutrition.
Am I breastfeeding? Oh, yeah. Okay, so
the
you
point is,
you rally the money.
people set up funds with us to
Yes.
have an impact on issues that they care about, but we also make grants. So we make about $2 million in grants to nonprofits in the county each year, and provide some scholarships and charitable care for folks who have cancer, folks who are you know, have a variety of health
So
issues.
would
that
you
sort of thing.
say the foundation is essentially the purse, the bank account, and you guys go and get like the people to put the money into the purse, and then you give it out to the charities, the programs that are like the expenses?
Well, that's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it. But we really are more than a philanthropic piggy bank because we partner and bring folks together to tackle tough community issues. So like the response to COVID. Right now, we have a convening going on around problems with rental housing, trying to address the eviction rate, trying to address helping landlords and tenants have more cooperative relationships. I mean, we have a major problem in Delaware County. A lot of people can't afford to buy a home,
No, they
but
cannot.
we don't want them to become homeless, right?
Sure.
So we want to
Mhm.
make sure that they're in safe and affordable rental
Right.
housing.
You're not just throwing money at a problem.
Exactly. If we can partner with government and the business community and the nonprofit community
Mhm.
to tackle some of these tough issues in constructive ways, then that's very much our role. So we're very involved right now in addressing the problems with maternal health. Now that DCMH closed their,
Yeah.
now they're closed completely, but when they closed down their labor and delivery floor, women didn't have any place to go. They had to find a way to get to
They just had to give birth in the Darby Creek.
Well, they're showing up at the emergency room
Yeah.
at DCMH and being told, you got to find a way to get to another place. And
Yeah.
that's not the way. That's why we
That's a
have,
huge problem in
it's
there.
a
Yeah.
huge problem.
And the mental health,
And that's a piece of
the
it.
the treating doctors that says they all have gone away.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really hard. It's difficult.
So you're saying we've ruined Delaware County. How do we get it back to being less terrible?
Well, I don't know that we've ruined
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Well, because I think a lot of these issues have been issues for a very, very long time. But
Probably.
we have a lot more awareness of them, and we also have a lot more awareness of how to address them. And I think there are actually a lot more opportunities now to get involved in Delaware County than there used to be.
So how would the foundation essentially start the process of tackling a major issue like lack of maternity wards in the county, and essentially renting issues in the county?
Well,
between
so for
landlords?
instance, the what we act as is as a convener. So we bring the right people together
Okay.
to address the problem. We make sure there are people with lived experience in the conversation. So it's not just sort of this high and mighty academic, scholastic exploration of a problem. It's what you
The
can
real
have
deal.
all the pie in the sky ideas about
Yeah.
how to address a problem. But if you can't operationalize them on the ground and make sure that the right people are really engaging and helping to develop the
So
solutions.
you're the doers, not
it's-
just the idea people.
Exactly.
I got
Exactly.
you. I got
And
you.
we also look around at how are these problems being addressed in other communities with impact? And are they programs that could be brought to Delaware County? Are there logical nonprofits to step up to provide those programs?
So you guys are basically like the siphon, but it's like the motto is like the addict's creed, where it's like, let me help how I can,
Mhm.
let get the right people in here who can if I can, and the power to know the difference.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now I get it. Now I get it.
Very much so.
Yay. Yay, I did
You
it.
guys are really smart.
No, no.
No, not really. I mean,
No.
like no, not at all. I can't even come up with a good joke for that. That's how dumb I am. I'm
So
like,
when you've told me this off the record, when did the Foundation for Delaware County come to be?
So we were created in 2016.
Okay, same as Delco Day.
Yeah.
yeah.
You were created in
And
2016?
you guys are, I mean, I don't know if I can say it, you guys like went rogue from a previous foundation, correct?
Well, we were created from the merger of the two old hospital, DCMH's nonprofit foundation, charitable foundation, and Crozier's
Okay.
charitable foundation. So when Crozier sold to a for-profit company, the court requires that those nonprofit charities have to be completely separate. The new buyers it can't line their pockets.
Mhm.
It has to continue to benefit the community.
Okay.
So I was brought
Okay.
on in January of 17 to sort of get everything off the ground. And I had done the same thing out in Chester County in a similar situation. So
Chester County's only got one hospital right now.
they've got two. Chester County
I
Hospital
don't know
and
if that makes it
Paoli.
better. Oh yeah, Paoli, I guess,
Yeah.
is Chester County.
And Phoenixville.
Do they have
Is
Phoenixville?
that considered? Okay.
Yeah, Phoenixville's still there.
Yeah.
Jennersville. There's one in Jennersville.
Jennersville's not there anymore.
It's not
No.
there.
No. Didn't
no.
Chester County swoop them up and whatever they are?
Christiana was.
Oh, Christiana.
Christiana bought them.
Didn't
So
Christiana buy-
I don't think they're operating as a hospital. I'm not sure.
The Christiana, I know that was supposed to be something that they're supposed to buy Crozier. Did that ever happen?
It did not happen.
Okay. I knew that was a swirling rumor that was going
It
around. I
did
thought,
not. Well, no, they were in negotiations,
Yeah.
and it did not happen.
So you
Nobody wants it.
guys merged after the two hospitals went privatized, and you guys merged to continue
Essentially,
essentially the I don't want to say charity, but the charity side of it.
right? Exactly.
Yeah. And you guys then became part of like the Philadelphia chapter.
We're not part of the Philadelphia
You
Foundation.
were at some point though.
No. Never.
Oh, you're
We're very friendly with
spiting.
them.
No, you're
We're-
spiting them. That's good.
Oh gosh, no.
No,
We're very.
we'll win.
In fact,
They're not better than us.
They've given us funding to support our maternal health
Oh,
programs.
they think they're
So-
better than you.
He's trying to drum it up.
They're giving you money. They're that good that they're giving you money. Oh, so the people collecting for charity are now giving charity. That's an ego boost for them. I wouldn't take it. I'd send it back to them.
I like her. I'm going to tell you right now, I like her.
I'd send it back to them and with extra money and be like, take it. We don't need your handout. We're not Aladdin. We're not street urchins.
We don't think
Yes,
that
yes, you
Delaware
are.
County can afford to say no to charitable
I don't
support.
think anybody can really afford to say no to charitable support. I mean, unless you're like that 1%er, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, it's an interesting thing that I feel like I've been saying this a lot tonight, is that nobody knew existed. Like, didn't know that this was kind of working, I guess, behind the scenes.
Well, yes,
Oh
behind
my
the
God,
scenes,
the
but-
Illuminati. That's what it
Oh,
is.
gosh, no.
Oh, I just figured it out.
Go on our website. You'll see
The
all our
Olympic charity.
financials. You'll see all our community reports, all our
I
grants.
see Jay-Z,
Everybody.
Beyonce up there with the Stonemason logo. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Illumin charity.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I like to think that even though there's still a lot of people out there that aren't aware of us, but that slowly but surely more and more people are realizing that.
Oh,
Who we are, what we're up to,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that we're the community foundation. We're Delaware County's community foundation.
There you
Have a
go.
conversation with us. Let's talk about how you want to get involved, how you might want to get
How
back.
would somebody get involved
That's
from
what
the
I-
lower
yes,
tiers
how
to
would
the
they?
higher tiers?
Well,
We
it
found our
depends on.
niche.
Give us a call. I mean, you can find all our email addresses, all our telephone numbers. Let's sit down and have a conversation about what you care about, what you'd like to do with Delco, how you'd like to have Delco Day evolve over time. We've talked about having a Delaware County Giving Day. We're not quite ready to go. Ooh, shh, we're not ready to go public with that.
You heard it first. March 28th next year.
We want to make sure that coordinates with what you guys have been doing.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will be there performing because it's part of the Illuminati.
Or at least Gritty.
Hey,
I'll take Gritty over those two anyway.
just gonna say,
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah,
The,
that's amazing.
yeah, no, I mean that's kind of like what we've always liked, and our main thing with the Delco Day was just basically showing like what you can do when you just do it.
And you, I'm sorry, you have social media presence too. You're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on
Instagram.
Twitter, we're on LinkedIn.
We'll put all the
Um,
links up. Yeah.
So a majority of
Mhm.
our like audience is I don't really know how. Don't be offended. Middle to lower class. But they all have hearts of gold. Would they?
Mhm.
Is there a way that they can basically, like you were saying, like the foundation essentially exists as like a purse? Is there a way they can add to the cachet of the money that's going out to these causes?
Well, I think there are a bunch of different ways.
Okay.
First of all, if you're a client of any of our programs, speak out about it, tell the world about the good experience you're having so that other people can benefit from the programs we're offering, like WIC, like Healthy Start, like the Nurse Family Partnership. If you're on a board of a nonprofit, there are a lot of people out there at every income level who are involved in nonprofits. They've either started one, they're on the board of one, their sister's involved with one.
Delco Law is a nonprofit. We don't make any money. We actually lose
That's
money.
operator error.
Yeah.
That's not,
Are we eligible for
Not
grants?
that's not legally binding. I don't think.
Sometimes people will have an idea that they want to start a nonprofit, but they're not ready to apply for their tax status. Sometimes they'll put the money with us. We'll manage it for them for a very small fee. They don't have to worry about getting 501c3 tax status. They benefit from ours if people want to get a tax deduction when they make the donation. There's so many different
Is it
ways
like-
that
is it
people
kinda like-
interact with us.
Is it kind of like, guys, you should totally do like a Delco Shark Tank type of thing? Get like a couple people.
Delco.
Here's an idea for a nonprofit.
No, let's put Delco Charitable Shark Tank. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
It is. It is.
It might see. Here's the thing: is it's like anything. If you don't make it interesting, that's kind of where the Delco Day idea came from. We said, well, we want to do something for charity, but we were talking about doing online, like kind of like a people donate online for like a whatever. Like, people would lose sight of that and it would be boring. And they were like, well, what do the people like to do? Like to go out and have a good time. Well, how do we make that a charity? Well, charge $6.10 at the door and watch 1,800 plus people walk through, and God knew where that was coming from. And then
Melt their hearts with
That's kind of-
kindness.
yeah, and that's the thing is like, and I think it's cool that there is something like what you guys do behind the scenes,
Mhm.
because then you get knuckleheads like us who don't know what we're doing all the time to help direct us knuckleheads.
Well, I do think that there are a lot of people out there who want to have an impact on issues that are important to them,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't necessarily know where to begin. Or maybe they get started, but they don't know how to take it to the next level. And it does help to
Fireworks.
have an organization that can help them. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely. We have historically had a sort of fragmented nonprofit scene. Let's face it, Delaware County has historically been a little fragmented.
We're a stained glass window
But
of
now-
realness.
I think the more we can bring people together and build on the strengths of the community, it's great that people are so devoted to their individual municipalities, but we all have a stake in the health of each other's, communities. It makes a difference to people in Garnet Valley what's going on in Clifton Heights. They
There
may not
are
realize it, but it does make a difference.
There
We're
are
all
at
part of the
least-
same county.
there's at least 11 towns in Delaware County that I would hinder aid going to. Not just not donate to them, but be like, no.
But you may not be about those municipalities getting aid, but there may be vulnerable people living in those municipalities who could use some help.
I don't think Trainer deserves $1. I would go out of my way
I disagree.
to stop Trainer.
So
from getting
have
money.
you met the woman who works for me, who is on town council and Trainer, Tracy Tucker? Have you met Tracy?
No, I picked a very obscure town.
I want her on this show.
Oh, she's throwing the glove down.
You totally stepped.
I looked at actually purchasing a property in Trainer a couple years ago.
And Trainer turned him down. That's why he's so bitter right now.
It was it actually goes back to Mayor of Easttown. Do you recall? Spoiler alert. Do you remember the episode where the cop got shot with the serial killer?
Yeah,
in the house that was also a bar.
Yes.
That's in Trainer, and it was up for sale for really cheap because the production company is trying to get rid of the deed to it. So yeah, Trainer's fine.
You were trying to buy it because there was a bar built
Did that
into
really
it.
take place in Trainer?
Mhm.
Because a lot of the scenery was in Coatesville.
Yeah.
No, that specific weird house where the house was connected to the decrepit bar is right there on like 9th Street ish in up.
I
In
don't know
Trainer.
that Tracy ever told me that. Wow.
Yeah, it was
I
listed.
think we should have Tracy versus Holbrook on the show one day. I don't even know who Tracy is. I don't know what she looks like. I know nothing about her. She wins automatically because you suck at
She's a
everything.
Why?
lovely-
Trainer?
She's a wonderful
Yeah.
person.
She's the trainer. I'm the teacher when it comes to this.
Wow, now we're throwing
down the gauntlet.
Now we're throwing dad jokes down. Is that how we're on this
Oh my
one?
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we hit rock bottom with the dad jokes. But so how would they get in touch with you over at the foundation?
They can go online at delcofoundation.org.
Mm.
All our contact information's there, our locations. You'll see all the organizations we've given grants to. You'll see information about our programs, information about our Center for Nonprofit Excellence. Yep, it's all right
What is
there.
that?
The Center for Nonprofit
Yeah, like what is
Excellence.
that?
So it's a series of different programs. We have peer learning circles where CEOs and development staff get together over time, and it's a facilitated conversation where they can learn from each other and kibitz about the challenges they're facing. Then we put people through the LaSalle nonprofit training program and they get a
Okay.
certificate. We put people through sometimes the Compass program where executives come in and work on a specific project for a nonprofit. There's a lot of different
It's like a big
programs.
workshop of programs. I got
Exactly,
the way
exactly.
it sounds, I thought it was like a Better Business Bureau where you like ranked nonprofits.
Oh God,
or,
no,
like,
no,
kept
no,
them,
no,
like,
no, no,
in
no.
compliance with each other.
No. Although
Okay.
we are about to, within the next,
we'll
month,
judge anything.
we're going to put out our first give book,
A
which
gift
will
book.
list about 40 nonprofits in Delaware County
Awesome.
that we recommend because we've given them money ourselves and we know the organizations, we know their leadership.
who's
Well, that's actually
Great. I'll make sure you guys get
That's
it.
actually pretty cool because sometimes things pop up. I don't know. A lot of people are thinking like the GoFundMe's where somebody had like a fire in a house or somebody got sick or whatever have you. But like that is a lot of times, even like people that come up, hey, would you like to donate to this charity? You don't know. Like
That's right.
And it's kind of good to have something where you can feel, all right, this has been vetted.
You know
Mhm,
where this
mhm.
is going to be the smartest thing I will say in 2023.
Oh God.
I lost it for a second. Hold up, I got it back. Do you know where that would be the most useful? Is at jury duty. When they say, would you, instead
Oh.
of getting an $11 check, would you like to donate it to a charity? Which one? And if it's just like, well, I don't really know which one, you have it right there and you just give it to the courthouse and be like, well, here's 40 that we would recommend.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
I
Do
did
they
it. I
give
did
you-
it.
Do
I
they
did it.
give you a bunch of choices? I
No,
thought
you
they
just-
only gave you 3 or 4 groups.
Oh, but if we
No.
give them a book and be like, you write whatever. So like Headstrong
Yeah, you
isn't
write it in, right? You
Like,
write it in.
Headstrong isn't there. So like I was just like, they're like, do you want to give to like the victims fund? I'm like, no, like I don't know, maybe I'll just take the $11. I'm like, I'll give to Headstrong. They could use $11, $6 after tax. Like my bank won't even cash a check for $11. But it's just like if there's a book of it, just like which one, and you have all day to sit there and read it.
And Headstrong is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just sit there and like instead of watching, Price is Right reruns, you can sit there and be like, oh, this one. You know what? I will give it to this, pick any of the 40. I think that jury duty is literally the number one option, and also send it out to a couple companies because I did have companies like that where they're like, oh, we have to do a charity thing every month. Like, what are we doing for
Yeah.
November? Oh,
Why don't you save this for Delco Shark Tank? Why don't you should save this? For
I'm trying to be on the panel for Shark Tank.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, well, Mark Cuban, are you like the lay person on the Shark Tank? So here's rich, successful or people in business, and then there's Holbrook. Like, it's not like this is how this is going to work out.
He's the wild
He's
card.
the before picture. You know, like
Mark Cuban gets paid every episode. You bring your little project in there and it doesn't get picked up, you don't get paid. It's called long-term investing, Al. I want to be on the panel.
paddle on that one.
Much royalties.
But no, I mean, like I said, it's like a really cool idea, just little smart things like that. And like Holbrook was also saying, like, kind of go along with it. You're reading and finding out about these things, and if you do have something that a family member died from cancer, like, okay, well, there's Headstrong. Like, I didn't know that this kind of like that's how we kind of got involved with Well, two reasons.
That is not how we got
with two reasons.
Ours is much more spiteful.
But they, we didn't like when we found out more about them. Like, oh wow, like took for granted like where we live and the access we have to things versus people who live outside of the area a couple hours away who can't be at a cancer treatment.
Like Trainer, where it's basically just the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
If Trainer gets the internet, they're going to be very upset with that comment.
They're going to hate us once Rotary Phones make an appearance there.
But no, I think it's really cool that you can bring the light stuff. Like, all right, well, I am going to donate my $11, but I'm going to donate to this because, I had a grandmother who died from this or a grandfather who suffered from that. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and to know where your money's going is
that's a key thing. Like I said, it's you can get bombarded between social media and any other web presence, and I mean even like think about Delco Day for a second. Like Headstrong is a very big charity in the sense that they have the signage that you can look it up, you can find out about it, but they also allow us to give to that local family that they have to do a GoFundMe or their family members have to do a GoFundMe. And how many times have you looked at that and said,
yeah,
I don't know about. Like, I would love to. Like, this hits me in the old heartheartstrings.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is real,
dude.
Yeah.
Like super downer note, but like
Here we go.
like the kid Michael Garr got murdered in Drexel Hill.
Yes,
There, like it was like if you asked me for money, I'd do that. But there was like 7 GoFundMes all run by like friends of friends of friends of the family.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's a little shady to me. I don't know which one. I don't really want to touch that with a 10-foot pole right now. There could be 6 of them being scammers. I don't know. But yeah, it does scare you away when it's run through there. And one thing with the book, did you actually make the physical book yet?
Not yet.
So
it's been designed. It's almost ready.
One thing I'd recommend after dealing with all this charity work recently and working side by side with Headstrong, in there, just when it's Headstrong and it's its own little page or whatever, make sure to write the little charity code that you need for it.
Oh yeah,
the 5 to 9 digit number, because that comes up more than you'd expect when you're trying to file, especially when you're a business filing on behalf of it. The NAIC code, is that the thing? Is that the number?
It's you mean their IRS?
Yeah,
pretty
much.
501c3.
yeah. So it's their tax ID. Yeah,
That's interesting. We had what we have. We have the website. Web address, and then we have a QR code to drive people to the website.
Oh, that's
okay.
Cool.
That's
smart.
Because I was I can't tell you how many times I was actually going around or texting people and was like, "What is this code? It's needed for this document to officially file this or whatever." And it would have been cool if there was a directory where it just had it.
And that's the other thing. Going to to what our sponsors of Delco Day, a lot of them are businesses. And again, you have a guy like me or Holbrook or Spaz walk in. Oh, by the way, would you like to donate to Delco Day? It now has become a household name, but before that was a lot harder. And it's nice to have a backing and showing that it is a legitimate place. And the fact that you can have that tax ID, the tax write-off for a business, I mean, these businesses have to do that for tax purposes anyway. So it makes that kind of thing a lot easier to do and maybe make your idea of bringing this book to help get that money to people even easier.
Yeah. Well, one of the roles that we play is we actually bring all the regional funders together, corporate, public foundations, private foundations together on a periodic basis to introduce them to what's going on in Delaware County. So, for instance, we brought folks together to learn about Share Food program coming to Delaware County, and they're opening a big warehouse in Folsom and what that was going to involve. We did a bus tour of Upper Darby.
The mecca of food that is Folsom. That's been an ongoing thing with episodes we were talking about.
It's a new gold mile.
It is the gold mile. That's exactly the metaphor I used.
In Folsom.
Yes.
Okay.
You have the new Delco Steaks. You have Anna's. You have Mike and Emma's. You have Nifty 50s. You have
Charlie's.
the original Wawa. You have Charlie's is still there. Jack's, Pig Daddy's. It's what we used to say the Golden Mile food was in Clinton Heights on Balmer Pike, crossing the old bazaar. Wrong. It is now.
That's a Golden Mile
now.
fast
It is
food.
now
Hunts,
Folsom.
Liberty.
It is now Folsom.
Liberty, yeah.
And you're telling me there's a charity food thing moving to Folsom?
I love this idea that
Throw it
what
in
you're doing. Do all these food restaurants know that you're calling it this Golden Mile?
They
Yes,
will now
and they ignore
when
it.
they listen.
Delco States gave a bunch of money
All right,
to.
I get the idea.
Delco States gave a bunch
They
of
don't
money to
listen to
Delco.
us much.
Okay.
Mike and Emma's yelled at me last time I was there.
Yeah, but you probably deserved
It's
it.
worth it though.
Pig Daddy's wasn't open on
Dude,
that. The last time I
They
went
could
there.
yell at me.
Yeah, no offense. They could spit on me, and I'm still gonna eat their
I'm
food.
still gonna get
I'm
still
just
eat it.
just putting it out there.
Oh my God.
I tried actually.
All right, all right.
The guy was biting my jugular, and as soon as I got rid of him, I did eat the sandwich. So.
I'm not gonna say
Still
no
the
to the
best.
sandwich. No, but we want to thank you for coming by tonight.
Absolute pleasure.
And we
Yeah.
think
Is there
it's
any events
amazing.
coming up that like the public should know about, can be part of? That would help get out there. Are you going to like any fairs? You throwing any, corporate dinners, meet and greets, anything like that?
No, our staff, you'll find our staff at a lot of different community fairs
Okay.
Around the county. That's usually what we're up to in the summer. Yeah, we'll be starting to talk about Delco Giving Day
Delco Giving Day.
towards the end of the year.
What's
And
the weirdest company or event or persons or cause that has donated to the foundation? Like, is there anything more
Out of left field,
rabble
maybe?
rousey than, let's say, a Delco Day?
I think you guys are the
I knew we would win that. With a standard for
Seriously,
rabble rousing.
Take that, Lansdale Satanism and Recycling Club.
Or the bronze standard.
Yeah.
So we're number one. We're the weirdest thing that is. I love it. I'm honored. I'm
Hold
honored.
look at a mirror. Yes, you are the weirdest thing by default. I mean, that's just how it works out.
I look like if a koala had a drinking problem.
oh,
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm adorable.
You are. That's what your
the,
girlfriend tells you.
Okay, so we're number one. What is what's the end? Like, what's the goal? The ultimate goal? If you could just pick one way this moves to the next level, what is the end game for the foundation of Delaware County?
I would love to see Delaware County be a county where everybody has an opportunity to be involved, really takes their civic responsibility seriously, has an opportunity to give back and have an impact on issues they care about, and gets to live in a safe, affordable community with, good education, good health care, all the things we all dream of that are important to being in a healthy community.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All of
awesome.
those things.
Love it.
Yeah. And
Love
we
it.
want to be part of it. We want to help make it happen. We
Love
want
it.
to feel a responsibility. So
We
the
love that.
opportunity is there.
Absolutely. Where can people find the Foundation for Delaware County?
DelcoFoundation.org.
DelcoFoundation.org.
Yeah.
Officially .org.
Yeah.
Fancy. Not at gmail.com. Not at angelfire.com.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're showing
My
your age.
Tango blog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Delco. I love
Thanks
it.
so much, guys.
All right,
Thank
thank
Really
you.
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Francis. That was fun.